Welcome to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, your front row seat to the boldest ideas and smartest strategies in the marketing game. Your host is Reed Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at MarketSurge.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, where we separate marketing myths from money-making systems. I'm your host, Reed Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at MarketSurge, where we help businesses turn scattered tools into scalable growth machines. I am so grateful to have Charles Craggett today, who is the founder of Become the Authority. And he's on a mission to fix something most home service businesses are doing completely backward. While everyone else is selling ads, SEO packages, and even just more leads, Charles built what most contractors never knew they were missing: the internal structure that actually converts those leads into booked jobs, 5-star reviews, and referrals that compound. He calls it the job flow framework. And today we're breaking down why most local businesses aren't losing because of marketing, they're losing because of systems. Charles, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you.
Glad to be on, Reed. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. So Charles, first of all, you say that most home services businesses are doing marketing backwards. What would you say in general they're getting wrong?
So, what we typically see is two issues. One, they're not doing any marketing at all. They're doing completely word of mouth, and that might be fine, especially with some of the industries that we work in. When it comes to things like roofing, gutter replacement, stuff like that, you could stumble into a pretty decent amount of revenue just because the margins are so high and the costs and everything like that, right? That's the first issue, is that they're not doing any marketing at all. The second issue that we see is that they are doing marketing, but they don't really have something that allows them to understand the data, right? They don't understand how much it costs per lead, how much it costs to acquire a customer, and then what the lifetime value of that customer is once they're in the door, because there's no processes. And then there's also the intangibles where a customer could be valuable, where you're like, hey, is this person giving me referrals? Is this person leaving a Google review? There's so many areas where we're just not maximizing the amount of value we can get out of each person that comes through our door. And that's what we build our systems in order to fix.
Okay, how did you find yourself working with home services businesses? Is this a background that you have in the space, or connections, or?
No, so I actually stumbled into this. My background is in insurance sales.
Oh.
I used to be a agency owner for a life insurance brokerage. And during COVID, we used to go out and we'd see people in person when we were doing our sales and writing policies and stuff. But when COVID happened, they switched us to a really rinky-dink kind of phone system that just did not work for me or anything like that. And I said, well, I'm an agency owner. I have a little bit more freedom than the average bear. I'm going to build my own system. So I started getting exposed to CRMs and paid ads and things of that nature, built my own system for my insurance agency, and we were able to not only survive during COVID, but thrive. And one of my friends reached out to me, who's in the window replacement business, and said, hey, this looks really cool, Charles. Could you build something like this for my company? And I'm like, sure, yeah. And I remember at the time I might have charged him maybe like a couple $100s. I didn't know what I was doing, but I built that. He got a lot of value from it, and it made me realize, wow, this is a problem that I could potentially solve, because the more that I talked to people who were in his network that also own different trades businesses, the more I'm like, you guys have the same problems. Your internal systems are a mess, and you don't have a consistent lead flow coming in. And even if you did, it would be going into so many different inboxes, areas. There'd be no organization to it, so you'd just be burning money anyway. And so as a result, we just decided to start the agency. It's about 3 years old now. We're doing very well. We have an average growth rate for our client who comes through the door. We help them grow anywhere from 40 to 60% year over year as far as their annual revenue goes. And they weren't doing anything wrong. They just needed better organization and better leads coming through the door. They already understood how to sell. They already understood how to run their business and everything like that. We were just able to kind of optimize them.
Okay. Well, you've referenced a job flow framework. So, I think frameworks are a good thing in the marketing space so we can do things in a repeatable way and, like take, because I'm sure like when you say home services business, there's some tweaks you need to make between an HVAC business and a roofing business. Tell us a little bit about this framework, job flow.
So, job flow is the just simplified breakdown of how we do what we do.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's just using the proper marketing channels to bring in the leads, putting them into a system that allows for those leads to convert, and then compounding on all of that advertising to where we can get either repeat business or the sort of intangibles again, like referrals, Google reviews, things like that. So, what we typically do with our clients is we do what we call a marketing and systems audit. Now, if they reach out to us and they book a call, suddenly they'll start to get us trying to get in contact with them. We're going to go through their website and fill out their forms. We're going to call their phone number. We're going to track all of the response times and just see how are you doing as far as intaking leads. And unfortunately, this is where a lot of home service businesses fail
Right.
because I'll reach out to someone. Let's say I'm reaching out to a plumber, and you respond to me 4 or 5 hours later. I was really, really, really trying to get my toilet fixed. I don't have 4 or 5 hours to wait, my friend. So,
Right.
so we're able to show that to people and say, hey, look, this is what a consumer is going through when they try to reach out to you.
Yeah.
So when you do bring a lead in, this is what they're going through. Do you really think this is the best use of your marketing dollars? Or is this the best way to bring a customer in? I'm telling you that it's not, and you can now see that it's not. Because a lot of the times we're not all the way in the weeds of what's happening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're running the business, or in their case, they're home service guys. So they're up on the roof, they're doing repairs, they're doing all sorts of stuff, and they don't have time to look at the internal systems. They're just kind of like, oh, I saw that lead. Maybe I'll give them a call today or something like that. That's how a lot of these guys are functioning, unfortunately. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
so it starts with that audit where we can show them all the sort of gaps and leaks and everything like that. Then we build a custom marketing strategy for them based around whether we're going to run ads on Facebook, maybe take a more Google centric approach, SEO, everything in between, right? Even answer engine optimization, we're working on that right now. We'll be rolling it out. But we do all of those things and we put together a custom stack that's kind of based on where they are in business. And then once they decide that they want to get started with us, we're off to the races. We start building a custom CRM for them, building out all of their different internal systems, doing all of the creatives, and then launching their ad campaigns. And, you know, it just kind of rocks from there.
So, tell me, you work with a lot of different home service businesses. What are some of, maybe if we go into a little bit of some of the specifics, so, and maybe I'm making some assumptions here, but you work with specific kinds of home service businesses. Are there specific approaches that work in roofing that don't work in HVAC, that don't work in plumbing? Are there any, have you noticed any things that are like particularly different about the buying activities of different clients?
So, on a surface level, no.
Okay.
Where we notice that differentiation helps is when we focus on how can we make the messaging not only more personalized but also more local. Okay. So, let's say for instance we're talking about a roofer, right? We're not going to put together just a generic cookie cutter roofing campaign and do the same roofing campaign for someone out in California where it's bright and sunny. We're over here on the East Coast where we get rain, we get snow, we get everything like that. Why do these two people have the same sort of roofing campaign?
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't,
Sure.
right? So in our case, we're like, let's look at, hey, let's talk about storm damage. Let's talk about the things that are happening in our backyard right now and incorporate that into our marketing so that these people know that we aren't just sending out some cookie cutter blasting messages. We took some time, we understood what their unique situation is, and we started reaching out to them. So It's really about our messaging is pretty much the same across all of the different industries where we're identifying the core problem
Mm.
that our services can solve. But then we take it a step further and we're like, let's talk about the specific problems you might be facing in your area right now.
Mhm.
We know that there was just a storm last week. That means it's time to go ahead and do a storm focused campaign
Mhm.
and push that out to everybody in your list,
Yeah.
right? It's just stuff like that.
Okay. Now, you mentioned response time as being one of the first places you start to identify leaks or inefficiencies. Do you utilize the AI agents either for the messaging or for the responding to calls? I know you use CRM technology that has that embedded. Have you had any experience with that? Like, do you have any opinions on that? I mean, you've got a roofer on the roof. You can't always grab the phone. What do you think about the AI fast
So
response?
I like AI response tools.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
But I do have mixed feelings on them simply because the more that I talk to consumers,
Mhm.
the more that I'm like, consumers are not a huge fan of talking to bots.
Yeah.
So, what I like to tell my clients, because typically we work with more established businesses anyway,
Mhm.
so they have some sort of receptionist or office person or something of that nature, right? And so we'll tell them, we're going to make it very easy for this person to field calls. So we want that office person to field most of the calls. But in the event that somebody reaches out and we aren't able to get to the phone, then we can default to the AI so that nothing slips through the cracks. But we want the priority person to be a human so that people can get that interaction. And a lot of people will say, okay, well that might be inefficient, it might be this, but it's like we have to remember that we're still doing business with people and we have to do what we can to make those people feel comfortable when they're working with us. So sometimes picking up the phone and hearing a human on the other line is going to make them feel more at peace working with you and everything like that.
Mhm.
Now, we do use where we primarily use AI is in our text and email
Okay.
blasts.
Okay.
Okay. We'll send out a message and we like to call it the yes campaign. We present a problem to the person and we say, we can help you with this, reply yes, and we can reach out to you.
Okay.
Once they reply yes, that triggers the bot to start doing the intake, asking all of those qualifying questions and everything like that. And we train it. What we do is we sit down with the business owner and we have a conversation with them and interview them. We take that information, we feed it to the bot, and we use that to train the bot on how the person speaks and talks.
Mm. Okay.
So once that bot is going back and forth with them, it's using their lingo, it's using the way that they talk, it's using maybe if this person is a short texter, it uses short messages.
Okay.
If this person is kind of a longer, more long-winded person, we might throw a couple extra words in there, right? We try to make it as human sounding as possible. We get all of their information and then we say, okay, perfect. You can either book on our calendar or one of us is going to be reaching out to you. And of course, we push all that data over to the office manager and the office manager can reach out to them.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And-
But we like AI. There's
okay.
nothing wrong with AI, but I think we just have to, we can't optimize ourselves out of existence. We have to still remember the human element of customer service, sales, and marketing.
Yeah. Well said. I like that. Now, Charles, you call your business Become the Authority. So I assume that authority building is a big part of your process. How do you do that for a trade business? Or what does that mean? Are there certain tasks, certain channels that you emphasize, or how do you do that? How do you make somebody the authority?
So, something that makes a person the authority inside of their space is visibility.
Okay.
Just straight up visibility, right? The more that people know that not only do you do this thing, but you're the guy that does this thing. You're the roofing guy, you're the HVAC guy, you're the flooring guy, you're the gutter replacement guy. And so what we focus on is creating as many channels to optimize visibility. So we have some customers that are local to us where we're also doing social media management for them as well. So we do social media to do the organic visibility. We'll do paid ads and SEO to get that organic visibility on the SEO side, and then the paid ads to start bringing people in. We're posting on their Google My Business page so that people can see that it's active. We're bringing in new reviews so that they can see, wow, it wasn't 6 months ago that somebody had a positive experience. It was literally yesterday, right? And so the more that people can look online and see that social proof that you are who you say you are, you deliver good work, and people are actively transacting with you, as well as the fact that everywhere I go now, I can't escape you. You know, no matter which channel you're on, whether you're on Instagram, Google, Facebook, whatever, you can't escape the flooring guy, the roofing guy, the HVAC guy. That creates a lot of authority, and it just keeps a person top of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so once a person has a problem that we can solve, we tend to be the first call, even if they weren't ready to do business with us. 6 months ago when they first saw the ad, we just kept hammering it home because we knew that, hey, you are a homeowner, you do live in this area, you might have a problem we can solve at some point. And then when that storm rolls through, hey, here we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's great. Tell me a little bit about how, as we're talking about Google, and how do reviews and referrals help push business? And are you, can you amplify those? Can you get more leads from those channels? Are there certain processes you like to use for those?
So what we like to do is we like to optimize the Google My Business page. We want to have as many services on there as humanly possible. We want the website pushing the right way. We want a phone number with active tracking on there. We want to consistently put up new photos so that people can see new project work and stuff. And what a lot of people don't realize about all of these systems is that everything is connected. These algorithms run very deep, and all of these companies are selling their data to each other. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what you clicked at the bottom. Somehow, some way, they're going to sell your data to somebody else,
Right.
right? So, and I say that to say this, by optimizing the Google My Business page, you're going to see a progressive decline in your overall costs when it comes to running ads.
Yeah. Right.
So this is about building it up to where Google knows you're serious. It's going to show your stuff to more people. They know that you're an authority person because they can see this person has a lot of reviews. This person consistently is on our platform posting and engaging. So if he's putting money behind his ads, we're going to put more effort into the algorithm to push him to more people because we understand these are the kinds of businesses that we want to work with. Now, that's a really simplified version of the Google algorithm, right?
Right.
But that's essentially how it works. The more you're willing to put time in when it comes to optimizing your stuff, getting those reviews, making the page active, showing the satisfied customers, showing the good projects, the more that Google will be incentivized to push you out. And that means you're going to be shown to more people and progressively reduce your overall lead cost over time.
So thank you, Charles. I think that's a great overview, and I feel like that is low-hanging fruit that most small businesses or medium-sized businesses can. Yeah, exactly, and they can see a lot of value by making those changes today. So maybe last question: if a home service business were listening right now, an owner were listening right now, and could only fix one thing in the next 30 days to increase profit, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to book a call with me. But honest to God, I would tell them to take a look at their internal systems and say, how often am I communicating with these people, right? Because of course, we're going to run ads, we're going to get leads in, right? Leads are fine,
Yeah.
but leads, if you have a decent close rate, we're talking maybe 20, 30, maybe 40% on your close rate when it comes to leads, right? Those referrals, those repeat businesses, a contact list that's built and optimized and allows for you to text and email your people offers at will is significantly more valuable than any paid ads campaign, right? I'm sure you're familiar with Hormozy.
Yeah.
Hormozy talks about the power of having your own list.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say go look at your list. You have customers inside of your list. When was the last time you texted everybody in your list and said, I have this offer
Right.
for you?
Yeah.
When was the last time you sent everybody an email and said, we're doing this, this, and this in the community today, or we just finished this project, would you like us to come look at yours? When was the last time you reminded this list of people who already know, like, and trust you that you exist, you're still doing business, and you can help them? So that would be the first thing that I would start doing is looking at, do I have the capability to text and email a massive list of people? If I don't, why don't I have that?
Yeah.
Because they're losing money just right there
Right.
by not having consistent communication with people. And everybody's like, "Oh, I need more leads, I got to spend more money, I got to do this." No.
Yeah.
For a very nominal fee to send out emails and text messages, the ROI on sending texts and emails is massive, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
So that's what I would focus on.
Well, that's a great response, and you've shared a lot of great insight. I hope that home service businesses in the audience would reach out to you, talk to you. It sounds like you have a great process with your job flow. Now, if people would like to reach you, where can they find you? Where are the best links to get a hold of you?
I was gonna say, so we've got our website right now. You could go to www.getjobflowsystem.com if you're interested in working with us. If you want to find me on Facebook, you can just look up my name. I will be sitting next to a tiger. I was over in Thailand. I fight Muay Thai. So I was over in Thailand and I got to hang out with a tiger. So I've been using that as my profile picture. So if you see me sitting next to a tiger, you found the right place. And you can also follow me on Instagram at charles.nwm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, Charles, so great to have you on the podcast. I appreciate all your experience and wisdom, and hopefully we can stay in touch. Thanks so much, Charles.
Absolutely, Reed. Have a great one.
You too.
Want to stay ahead of what's actually working in marketing right now? Head over to MarketSurge.io and see how we're helping businesses grow smarter, faster, and louder. That's MarketSurge.io, because your next breakthrough shouldn't be a guess.